Namaskar, welcome to TOI Sports Beyond the Boundary, your daily show on cricket and Indian cricket. And today we have an important game that's going on right now at the Dubai International Stadium between India and New Zealand, the final group game of Champions Trophy 2025. To discuss about this, we've got a power pack panel straight from New Delhi. We've got Avijit Da joining us. We've got Dwaipen Datta joining us from familiar setting in Chennai, and Nitin Naik joins us from Mumbai. So just to update everybody, India made 249 for 9 in their 50 overs, old-fashioned one-day cricket. And in their response, New Zealand has just started their reply. Shreyas Iyer was the top scorer for India with 79 of 98. To start off with Abhijit Da. Abhijit Da, what did you make of India's effort with the bat up front? Matt Henry. It was almost as if we were watching a replay of the 2019 World Cup. It just seems to be seems to be something about India that seems to turn New Zealand on. Even Kyle Jamieson, he turned back the clock in that spell against India.
I'd say there is something about New Zealand that turns India off. वो हमारा बोगी टीम है थोड़ा सा और हम हमेशा न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ अंडर परफॉर्म करते हैं. But I would just say that what was the main difference? मुझे तो लगता है main difference was in fielding. See, we are the best team in Asia. One of the reasons why we are so is because our opponents constantly drop catches. आज के दिन में न्यूजीलैंड ने 2 ऐसे कैचेस पकड़े जो शायद एशिया की कोई दूसरा टीम नहीं पकड़ता. And they also took other two very smart catches. The catch of Glenn Phillips, Virat Kohli's bat by Glenn Phillips, and the Kane Williamson catch. Even the catch by Tom Latham of KL Rahul. These were extremely difficult takes, but they took them. So ये फील्डिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा फर्क पड़ जाता है. अगर दूसरी कोई एशिया की टीम, अभी हम जो यहाँ पे जो पहुंचे हैं सेमीफाइनल, हमने 2 एशियन टीम्स को हराया. ये जो आज के जो इन शॉट्स पे जो बैट्समैन आउट हुए, वो अगर इस तरह के शॉट्स उस दिन खेल रहे होते तो नहीं आउट होते. सो whenever we play the non-Asian teams, the spectacular fielding of these teams make a huge difference. Don't forget, even we go back to the 2023 World Cup final. Everything that started with the Travis Head catch. तो आज भी हम वही चीज देखते हैं. विराट कोहली was in superb form. He was पिछले मैच में उन्होंने शतक बनाया था. इस मैच में ठीक ही अच्छा खेल रहे थे, लेकिन again अस्ताना. So इस तरह के catches win matches वाला जो चीज है, ये बार-बार न्यूजीलैंड प्रूव करता है. और हमें even when we are playing either South Africa or Australia, ये एक फैक्टर रहेगा जो हम लोग को डील करने पड़ेगा.
Dwaipen, just building on that point by Abhijit Da, what do you think happens to India when they are playing against a side like New Zealand in ICC events? Like the previous 2 times they played was in the 2023 ODI World Cup. They beat them twice, but in the semi-final, New Zealand ran India close. But in the 2007 T20 World Cup also, we saw the only team that India lost to was New Zealand. Is it the fact that India seems to take their foot off the pedal, or is it the fact that New Zealand are so much better than India in these ICC events that they are not able to perform against them?
What I think about what New Zealand does very well is that they do the basics absolutely right. Like there are the mistakes are very less when it comes to New Zealand. Like you will see, as Abhijit was saying, they hold on to their catches, they get a bit some kind of runs on and there is an element of solidity about the way they go about their job. So that is what. And when it comes to a pressure situation, I'm not saying today is a pressure match. Today it is not, but some of the 2019 semi-final, of course, once the match started the next day and the ball started moving around a lot more, those things happened. Having said that, the most painful defeat was the 2019 semi-final defeat and the 3 tests that we have lost to New Zealand. These 3 have cost us a lot. So Yes, they have a set plan in mind. They stick to those plans and do it properly. No flash, not much flair, but just sticking to the basics. And sometimes when the opponent does that and you are under pressure, then you tend to sometimes take struggle. That has, I think that is one thing that has happened. New Zealand doesn't do too many things wrong in these games.
Very cleverly, Dwaipan has not mentioned the 2021 World Test Championship final because
Oh yes,
it was
2021 World Test
yeah,
Championship
but it
final
didn't hurt
also.
you.
Correct.
We get it, Dwaipan. It didn't hurt you as much as the other four, so we understand that. But Nitin, coming to the effort itself, Shreyas Iyer once again showing why he's regarded so highly in one-day cricket. He solved the problem that India had in the 2019 World Cup, which was like a continuous problem about the number four. Axar Patel also moving up, doing well. Hardik, for once, performing well towards the end of the innings. How did you make the what did you make of the effort with the bat of the rest of the batters apart from the top three?
I think well constructed knock by Shreyas. Played the short ball well till he got out. I thought that shot at that moment was not really on. I think had he carried on for 4 or 5 overs more, then I think New Zealand would have been forced to bring their spinners back on, and he could have attacked them. I think Velo Rook had, I think, 1 or 2 overs more in that spell to go, but I think just after the drinks break, I thought he could have waited. I think his game sense kind of deserted him a little bit over there. But I think overall, in terms of the quality of his innings, excellent knock. Took the off spinner on, played the sweep shot well. Perfect number four type innings. He just the one day template suits him so well that he's a lock in now at number four. I don't know why there was so much debate. He has also become more efficient while playing the short ball, despite the dismissal today. He has more control over it. He's made certain technical changes with while working with Praveen Amre here in Mumbai, playing on the reddish soil pitches, which bounce a little more, which have a little bit more pace. I think he's done a lot of hard work, and I think that long stint of match practice in domestic cricket has really worked well for him. Akshar Patel again. There were some funny tweets going around that why does he have to face the difficult situations and the difficult overs, and why not an established test batter and who has also opened the innings in KL Rahul? But I think India needed that left hand right hand combination at that stage, and I think briefly it broke New Zealand's rhythm there. Otherwise, I think another right hander there, and I think Santner would have bowled a few more economical overs. I think Akshar Patel there at that stage was the right move. A bit disappointed with how KL Rahul got out. That ball was, I thought, too full to play off the back foot, and had he not got an edge, I think he would have been bowled a little bit W. Like he just missed that length completely. But I think overall a par score, a bit of a tricky pitch, powdery white surface with black soil from Karachi, I think. But overall, I think a par score. I think New Zealand did their homework brilliantly. India's problems with bowlers who are 2 meters and above on slowest surfaces, they persist. You saw that in the World Cup final, and we saw that again today.
Abhijita, what did you make of India's combination? The combination that they played today, played an extra spinner, wanting to test themselves under the lights with an extra spinner in Varun Chakravarti instead of Harshit Rana as the fast bowler. The Indian team management over the years, whether it is Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli, after that Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, and now Rohit Sharma and Gautam Gambhir, or last year again Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, they always regard Hardik Pandya as the fourth pacer. All of us outside the rarefied circle don't consider Hardik Pandya as the fourth pacer, but the team think tank over the last 6 years have looked at Hardik Pandya as the fourth pacer, and in this case today as the second new ball bowler. How do you make this combination that India has picked for this game?
मुझे लगता है कि इंडियन थिंक टैंक जो है वो सेमीफाइनल को देख के वो उसने ये चेंज किया है. आई फील दिस चेंज probably means that the Indian think tank thinks that the key to stopping whoever the side is, especially if it is South Africa, then the spinners will play a much more important role, and to that extent, they will put all bets on the spinners. So I think in that sense, it is probably a decision which has been taken keeping the semi-final in mind. मैं एक छोटा सा चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगा वो श्रेयस के बैटिंग के बारे में. I just felt that he's a much improved player, but he's still not in that sense of finish article. You know, uh, Today was in a kind of sense his graduation day. In the sense that इसके पहले के 2 मैच आई नो दैट इंडिया वे चेजिंग, बट शुभमन ने वो मैच इंडिया को जिताया, शुरू से लेकर अंत तक बैटिंग किया, कोहली ने इंडिया को पूरा मैच जिताया. आई फेल्ट दैट एज अ नंबर 4 श्रेयस शुड हैव बैटेड मच मच लॉन्गर. और वो जो शॉर्ट बॉल पे वो जो आउट हुए, दैट वाज नॉट द फर्स्ट शॉर्ट बॉल व्हिच बलून्ड. उसके पहले साइमन ओडोल ने भी कहा था कि 2-3 शॉट्स ऐसे थे जो उन्होंने सही मारे, पर 1-2 शॉट्स और थे जो उन्होंने सही नहीं मारे. तो कहीं ना कहीं मुझे ऐसा लगता है ना कि he makes it an ego issue that I will take this bowler on and I will hit him. I think if he is a little more sort of smart about it, that then he can be a far better player, because there is no denying his talent and there is no denying that he's scoring runs regularly. But middle over batting is also kind of a finishing the job. So while he batted excellently, he didn't finish his job today. And even the other day against Pakistan, he scored a 50, but he should have finished that job. He just scored a 50 and he got out when he actually, there was no need for him to kind of play an agricultural, the shot he was trying to create a boundary. So I just feel that's one thing, probably, that he needs to sort of bring to his game.
Dwaipan, India has batting till number 8. Do you think that that long batting order uh, served India well today, or did we underperform with the bat? 249 for 9, like Nitin says, it's just about a par score on this pitch. Do you think that the long batting lineup served well for India today?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It served well because India has the cover in bowling also, and uh, I think it is fine. I remember the 2011 World Cup final. After the final, somewhere Sangakkara said that even if he had got 350, we wouldn't probably have kept this team because Suresh Raina walks in at 7. So that kind of feeling is that this batting lineup just doesn't end, and it has quality. Like 250 on this track, I think it could be. Had it not been New Zealand, I would have said India would definitely have won with 4 spinners and no dew. Like India would have definitely won against the other teams because it's New Zealand. They know how to play spin. And these one among these three, if Rachin, Young and Williamson, one of the three get stuck, then it can get slightly tricky because these three are very very fine players of spin. So, but other than that, I think this batting lineup served them well. This is just fine because as long as we have the cover in bowling, if the batting lineup goes slightly deeper, I don't mind. It was good. That allows the top order to play with some freedom. It did not work today, but on another day it will.
Nitin, do you think that this New Zealand team is the best team of this tournament? Because just imagine the situation. They didn't have to use Glenn Phillips today at all as a bowler. Glenn Phillips won a test match for them in Bombay against India, that the deciding test match. And today they used him more as a fielder. That guy can do just about anything on the field, bowl, bat, keep. He can do just about anything, and they didn't have to use him at all. And he comes in as late as number 7 or number 8 for them, and they have the skipper who can bat at number 9. So in that sense, do you think that this is the most complete side of this tournament? So they are in that sense the side to beat.
Yeah, three pacers, three seamers, three tall pacers. I mean, Henry is not really tall, but then he has the knack of adapting to serve. I think it's the most adaptable team to any surface, and they're also so well planned in terms of their execution of of length. I think that ball that they bowled to Jadeja, so beautifully bowled. I mean, just a bit wide on his chest, making him, forcing him to be rise above his on his toes and be aerial and lack control and power and play through the offside. Uh, they protecting the big hits of Hardik by placing fielders deep on on the onside and making him hit to the larger part of the boundary. So I think they're easily the most well planned side against India. I think they know that because they are such a boundary hitting team, they know that against players like Shreyas and all, they know that if they don't get if they stop them from getting boundaries early on in the over, then they will go for the big shot. And I think that's what they were trying. Even Rohit Sharma's dismissal, I don't think he's got out for the first time to Matt Henry while pulling the ball. He that again very well planned dismissal. Kyle Jamieson, I thought, bowled beautifully. Apart from that one over where I think Hardik took him on. So they are. It's a team that knows its limitations and it plays according to them. And I think that is what is their greatest strength. They just do not go and try anything fancy. They'll set a plan and they'll work according and around it to execute those plans. And that's where I think they are so good in global events.
One big difference between the two sides is probably going to be fielding. We saw Glenn Phillips pull off some stunners today. And just now, even as Nitin was speaking, we saw the spectacle of Varun Chakravarti misfielding, going for a catch. It was of a free hit, but going for a catch. The ball hit his leg, and the ball then went off to the boundary line. So 4 runs, gifted by 3 runs at least, gifted by Varun Chakravarti, and his fielding was a major talking point before his selection in the one-day side. It's okay in a T20 side where you can cover him well, because he just has to bowl 4 overs and you can sort of hide him somewhere on the field. But in a one-day match, Avijit Da, his fielding, if his bowling doesn't come off, his fielding is going to be a major issue because he doesn't contribute anything with the bat.
या वो प्रॉब्लम्स तो हैं ही, क्योंकि देखिए हिंदुस्तान के पास 3 बहुत अच्छे फील्डर हैं, 3 या 5 एवरेज फील्डर्स हैं और 3 बिलो एवरेज फील्डर्स। न्यूजीलैंड के पास 3 एक्सेप्शनल फील्डर्स हैं और 8 बहुत अच्छे फील्डर हैं। तो ये डिफरेंस है और ये एक ऐसा गैप है जिसको हम भर नहीं सकते। आप बैटिंग और बॉलिंग के जो गैप्स है उनको आप भर सकते हैं, पर ये जो गैप है ना, जो इनविजिबल सा गैप है, बिकॉज वो नजर नहीं आता। आपको विकेट नजर आता है, आपको रन्स नजर आते हैं, पर फील्डिंग का जो डिफरेंस है ना वो नजर नहीं आता। तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है। और ये प्रॉब्लम सिर्फ हमारे न्यूजीलैंड के साथ ही नहीं है, बल्कि ये प्रॉब्लम हमें ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ भी होगा और ये प्रॉब्लम हमें साउथ अफ्रीका के साथ भी होगा। न्यूजीलैंड के पास इस टीम में, जैसे जो पहले सवाल आपने पूछा था नितिन से, कि उनके पास 8 बैट्समैन हैं और 8 बॉलर हैं।
एक अपडेट करना चाहता हूं कि अभी हम फील्डिंग की बात कर रहे थे और एक्सेप्शनल फील्डिंग के जरिए अक्षर पटेल ने वहां पर कैच पकड़ लिया है रचिन रविंद्रा का। तो मतलब वो बंदा जो इंडिया को बहुत ज्यादा परेशान करता था, वो अपर कट मारने के चक्कर में थर्ड मैन पर बेहतरीन कैच पकड़ा है वहां पर अक्षर पटेल ने। और वो जो बहुत बढ़िया फील्डर्स की बात कर रहे थे अभिजीत दा, that one of them is Axar Patel, because he's that fielder who's a 3-in-1 in that sense for India as a cricketer.
आप देखिए ना, ऑस्ट्रेलिया के खिलाफ जो 2024 जो T20 मैच हुआ था ऑस्ट्रेलिया के खिलाफ वर्ल्ड कप, उसमें जो इन्होंने मिचेल मार्श का कैच पकड़ा था, that was second to none. सूर्य कुमार यादव की कैच की ज्यादा चर्चा हुई, पर दैट कैच वाज second to none. You see, हम बार यही बोलते हैं कि अक्षर पटेल जो है ना, वो he is an outstanding cricketer in every field right now. वो नितिन बार बोलते हैं मोस्ट इम्प्रूव क्रिकेटर, वो तो है ही। और वो मतलब क्या बोले, जैसे भोजन में आलू होता है ना, वो उस तरह से है। आप किसी भी चीज में डाल दो, वो मतलब वो स्वाद बढ़ाते हैं, वैल्यू बढ़ाते हैं उस चीज का। आप आलू की रोटी भी बना सकते हो, आलू की सब्जी भी बना सकते हो, आलू के किसी भी सब्जी में भी डाल सकते हो, आलू की खीर भी बना सकते हो, ही सारा काम करते हैं वो। तो ये जो चीज है ना कि मतलब थोड़े से अंडर वैल्यूड हैं वो, उनकी ज्यादा चर्चा नहीं होती, उनका कभी उस तरह से अलग से कोई हेडलाइन पॉइंट में बहुत कम उनका आता है, बिकॉज देयर इज ऑलवेज समबडी एल्स स्टीलिंग द शो. लेकिन आज भी उनका आप देख लीजिए, यू नो, श्रेयस तो बैटिंग कर ही रहे थे, पर वो जो थे उस नंबर पे आके उन्होंने जिस तरह का एक रोल प्ले किया, उससे भी जो स्टेबिलिटी मिली, वो 98 रन का जो पार्टनरशिप था, मेड अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस. तो यही है, मतलब फील्डिंग अगर हम रेस करेंगे तो शायद हम अच्छा अपना फाइट दे सकते हैं. बट एक लार्जर प्रॉब्लम तो हमारा है दैट सी वी मे बी अ वर्ल्ड क्लास साइड बट वी आर नॉट अ वर्ल्ड क्लास फील्डिंग साइड.
That brings me to Dwaipan. Dwaipan, we were talking about the fielding, especially of your city mate Varun Chakravarti, and we saw just now how we misfielded. His fielding is a concern, though his batting is not that much of a concern because he's not required to contribute with the bat. But his fielding is a concern because in one day cricket, you can not get away by hiding somebody for like 50 overs as compared to a T20 match where you can get away by hiding somebody on the field for 20 overs.
No, Varun Chakravarti has been taken with the knowledge that he's a bad fielder and he can't hold his bat. So he will be played on a surface where there is enough help and the opposition cannot play spin. So in that sense, like when it comes against South Africa, South Africa have struggled against Varun Chakravarti. Even New Zealand hasn't played him. So I'm guessing they are banking on one skill of his to get the wickets, the mystery factor that he brings to the table, and like 3 4 wickets if he gets for even 40 50 runs, then uh, his job is done. So it is very well known. He has been in the circuit for a long time, and the world knows that he can't bat, he can't field. So there is no mystery around that. So he has been taken for that purpose, and I think that's a gamble that India has chosen to take. And if it works, it works. So let's see. There is a chance that it may work against team, especially against teams that do not play spin off the bowler's hand.
Nitin, do you do you also look at it that way, or do you think that India will make a change in the semi-final day after tomorrow, which is 48 hours from now, or less than 48 hours from now? Irrespective of who the opponent is, they just made a change today just for the heck of it, just to see how this combination works. Do you think that's the case?
Depends on the surface, Chandresh. I mean, if it's a similarly powdery surface where, although Harshit Rana has those tools to exploit these kind of surfaces also with his slower ones and his back of the hand cutters, and he's a tall guy also who can really hit the surface and disturb the surface. But if it's a better wicket than this, which I presume it is, because I think they're going to play on the center pitch today. I think they're playing on a one which is slightly to the right of the center pitch. That is why I think one side is I think just 63 meters long, the boundary there, and the other side is longer. So I think the curator I think wanted the pitch for the semi-final to be well rolled and well watered and with a little bit more grass so that maybe it can withstand the slightly hotter conditions that prevail in Dubai in the afternoon. Although they said that today was a much pleasant day in terms of weather, but if they feel that the wicket is similarly powdery and aiding spin, then only I think I think they just like the comfort of an extra seamer. I think today also I think the faster bowlers did all the time. I think India lost 7 wickets to Pacers today, and I think hitting pace is proving to be a little difficult in Dubai rather than hitting spin. I think defending spin is proving to be a little bit easier, but hitting pace is proving to be very, very difficult. And I think all the wickets that India lost to the Pacers also were all of attacking shots. So I think it's very proving to be a little bit difficult attacking pace.
Uh, Interesting, Abhijit Da. New Zealand right now 23 for 1. The usual danger man, Kane Williamson, is at the crease. This New Zealand lineup seems to have a never ending batting lineup as well, because they have batting till number 8, number 9, and everyone contributes. And even they are 10 and 11, look to contribute, like unlike some other tail, especially India. How do you see this challenge of 250 and whether India will be able to defend against this lineup?
देखिए उन्होंने इस टूर्नामेंट में 3 सेंचुरीज बनाए हैं, 3 अलग अलग लोगों ने। लेथम ने सेंचुरी बनाई है, रविंद्र ने सेंचुरी बनाई है और विल यंग ने सेंचुरी बनाई है। सो यू नो दे हैव गॉट प्लेयर्स हु हैव प्लेड लॉन्ग इनिंग्स। उनके 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 पास सब कुछ है। एंड द अदर, बट एक चीज जरूर है कि हमने देखा है कि ऑन दिस पिच द स्टैटिस्टिक्स शो दैट द बॉल इज रियली टर्निंग। वेदर ये उनके लिए भी एक चैलेंज होगा कि ऑन अ टर्निंग पिच हाउ दे काउंटर। मैं तो ये सोच रहा था कि फर्स्ट 15 ओवर्स में व्हेन द पेसर्स आर ऑन they might like to take some chances and go aggressively, so that later when the spinners come into play, they will be playing a much more, they can try to sort of rotate strike and take singles rather than take strong play, go for boundary or over boundaries. But I think India has done well by uh, keeping them in check. और उनकी बैटिंग लाइन तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, मतलब। बट यही है कि इट विल बी एन इंटरेस्टिंग कॉन्टेस्ट। हालांकि फाइनली द ट्रूथ इज दैट दिस इज अ नॉन प्रेशर गेम, तो उस लेवल का तो प्रेशर नहीं होगा, बट स्टिल आई थिंक बोथ साइड्स वुड लाइक टू विन, एंड टू दैट एक्सटेंट this will be an interesting contest. 249 is a good score, as both Vaipayan and Nitin have said.
Dwaypan, do you also look at it that way? Not much of a pressure on both sides because they're already in the semi-final. So, would they look at it as a glass half full, or rather, or as glass half empty before getting into the semi-final? Whatever the result is, getting into the semi-final.
The pressure obviously is not that much, but having said that, this is a match where you get to score a lot of psychological points, because I have a strong feeling that these two teams will play the final again. Like, unless something goes drastically wrong, these two teams should be playing the final. There is that element in there, but I think 250 India should be in a position to defend. Like, there is no reason, unless of course Williamson gets 100, that is another matter altogether. But if four spinners on this track without due, there is every chance that India will defend this total. This is a good score. I think it's a good enough score.
Nitin, do you think India can defend this target?
I think so. I think when they were 30 for 3, I think if you would have said that you give them 250, I think they would have taken it with both hands, seeing the way the wicket was behaving. Unless the ball gets very, very wet and there is dew, which we have not seen so far in Dubai. And sometimes what happens, Chandresh, is just a little bit of dew, no? On turning pitches, it just makes that turn a little bit faster. It's like those moist surfaces that you get at Wankhede early on, when you often see spinners come in very early and get wickets. So on just that little bit of dew might just spice up the surface even more for the spinners to get additional turn with a faster pace. And I think that India would be happy defending 250. They will be, I think, over the moon if they get New Zealand for under the score. But even if they can get them 7 down, 8 down, and New Zealand chase it down in the 47th or the 48th over, I don't think they would be very, very unhappy. As Dwaipayan said, that teams would be happier to get some brownie points, because these two teams might meet again in the final a week later. And New Zealand, especially, I think, would be delighted to get this opportunity of playing a game in Dubai, for all the hue and cry and the hula baloo that we have made about teams made to travel. And but I think New Zealand, I think, would be thanking their lucky stars that before the final, they get a game here and get to experience the conditions.
Abhijita, even as Nitin was speaking, once again the ball seems to be chasing Varun Chakravarti on the field. Poor guy is had to chase the ball once again. He's under a lot of pressure. Are you also like Nitin, that you feel, Nitin and Dwaipan, that you feel that India can sort of challenge New Zealand in this chase? Abhijita, unmute yourself.
It will be a sort of a मतलब खुशी में भी थोड़ा दुख होगा या I really don't know, because I think our preferred opponent would be South Africa. So you know, to win the Champions Trophy, you anyway have to beat two of these three teams, New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. But if there is a sort of a preferred choice कि इन तीन में से एक टीम को मैं सेमीफाइनल में फेस करूं, तो अब उन दो टीमों में से तो साउथ अफ्रीका ही होगी. तो अगर हम ये मैच जीतते हैं तो फिर हम साउथ अफ्रीका को नहीं फेस करेंगे. सो वो एक इंटरेस्टिंग कनंड्रम है हमारे सामने. हालांकि हम जानते हैं कि वी विल गिव आवर बेस्ट टू विन द गेम, बट वो एक इशू रहेगा. पर यू नो जो वरुण चक्रवर्ती वाला फैक्टर है वो एक इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्टर है, क्योंकि वी हैव राइट फ्रॉम आवर सेलेक्टर्स वी हैव अ बेट ऑन स्पिनर्स कमिंग गुड ऑन these tracks in Dubai. तो आज उनका बॉलिंग जो है वो irrespective of the result, how he bowls is the most interesting thing for me. आपके पास एक सवाल भी आया था कुछ केएल राहुल को लेके, जरा वो देख लीजिए.
हाँ, वो राहुल बल्लभ का सवाल है. आई डोंट नो व्हाई केएल राहुल keeps getting so many chances despite repeatedly failing to prove himself. If he fails again in the semi-final, his bank account should be closed. I think there's a question for Dwaipan because he's an expert in these matters. Dwaipan,
Which matters?
the question also.
केएल राहुल पे
question-
एक्सपर्ट है बैंक अकाउंट पे.
Bank
दोनों पे.
account पे.
Because the question also comes from a Rahul.
Yeah, see, I'm not a great fan of KL Rahul being in the team ahead of Rishabh Pant, but then he got a 50 a couple of maybe what against Bangladesh, I think. And though he was dropped once, but he played well. Give him a little bit of room to it happens once or twice. He has fitted into this team on these conditions well. I don't think he will be India's keeper in the World Cup in South Africa in 2027. I don't think so, because Rishabh Pant is different quality. But on these conditions, wicket girega to aake to hold things and all. He has a kind of a game. So let him be. It's okay. It's he has scored a 50 just 2 games earlier. So don't be so harsh on him.
So see, just as you spoke about it, Nitin had a fall of his laptop, of his mobile, because he just couldn't hear the praise from you for KL Rahul. He just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, it caused tremors over here. It caused tremors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tremors across Mumbai. That tremor was more so from Sunil Shetty's house as well, because so that garnered praise from Dwaipan for KL Rahul. Just the final round for all three gentlemen. Nitin, starting with you, yes or no? Can India defend this target?
Yeah. They will.
Abhijit Da?
India can, but New Zealand will win.
Okay. Dwaipan, the final
Yes,
word
yes.
rests with you.
India will win.
India will win. Okay. On that positive note from Dwaipan, we bring a close to this show today. We'll be back again tomorrow, analyzing India's victory or defeat in this final league encounter, and then looking ahead to the semi-final on Tuesday. Remember, two teams are waiting with bated breath in Dubai with their bags packed, waiting to see whether they're moving back to Lahore or staying in Dubai. So everything is riding on this game. So thanks a lot, gentlemen, for joining us today. We'll be back again tomorrow. And to the viewers watching us, please keep liking, sharing, subscribing us on whatever platform you're watching us. And if you're on YouTube, please keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and do not forget to press the notification bell. Till tomorrow, take good care of yourself. Goodbye.
Thank you.